So, those things are very disappointing. And you have to remember, we have 45,000 troops in Japan. We have 45,000 troops in South Korea. We have 50,000 troops in Germany. We defend all these countries. And then, do you have any minesweepers? And they say, well, would it be possible for us not to get involved?
Neutral and merit-based. We want the absolute best. The history of Japan. Madam Prime Minister.
It always bothered me that we're protecting and we don't need them. We don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But it's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but because I want to find out how they react. If we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there. I said, for 40 years we're protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor, and everybody else to remember that was said. And I think we're going to be disappointed in some nations too. And I'll let you know who those nations are.
Are you completely on board?
And we will talk about.
We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. Japan gets 95%, China gets 90%, South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me. We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. When we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. We'll give you a list. And I assume some will not do it. I think we have one or two that will not do it that we've been protecting for about 40 years. Tens of billions of dollars, Mr. Speaker. So I'll be reporting that to you in the House and the Senate, and I'll say, why are we protecting countries that don't protect us? They should be jumping to help us because we've helped them for years stay out of wars. Yeah, please.
In your conversations with your counterparts, are they thanking you? What are their conversations like when you talk about this military conflict that's taking place in Iran?
Well, they should be thanking me. Well, should be thanking us, but I don't expect to thank you. But Japan gets 95%, China 91%. South Korea gets a tremendous percentage of their oil, and they should be not only thanking us, they should be helping us. What does surprise me is that they're not eager to help. There are some that really were right up front. I would announce their name now, other than maybe they prefer it not being announced for whatever reason.
China and our allies aren't yet stepping up to your standard. Is the United States getting back to being the world's policeman?
The United States should not be very much involved. If you look back years ago, I said, why aren't we being reimbursed? These are the richest countries in the world. Why aren't we being reimbursed for maintaining the Hormuz Strait? And why aren't we being reimbursed for that? Lax isn't good enough word.
I just want to ask you about something very interesting that you said.
It was expected to expand its ground offensive.
Told you anything in terms of how long?
Have you been speaking with the French president?
And second,
I can't say. We had one man who was very ill. It looked like he wasn't going to make it. I don't know. I won't mention his name. Should I? Do other people know his name? Do you want to mention it? He'll be proud. Go ahead. Tell him the story.
Okay. Well, Congressman Neil Dunn of Florida had some real health challenges, and it was very serious, and had a pretty grim diagnosis.
What was the diagnosis?
It was, I think it was a terminal diagnosis.
He would be dead by June.
Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah, okay. It was grim. That's what I was going to say. I don't think
with a heart problem, by the way. This was a heart problem. Mike called me and he said, "Sir, we're up by 3, but we're going to lose 1 by June." I said, "That's bad. Number 1, it was bad because I liked him. Number 2, it was bad because I needed his vote." And then I realized I have doctors in the White House, and they immediately went over to see the congressman. And he was on the operating table like 2 hours later. And they called up. They said, "Sir, I think he'll be fine." I said, "You got to be kidding." He said, "I think he'll be fine." I did it for him first and for the vote second. But it was a close second, actually. But I did it for the vote second. All right? I spoke to one of the former presidents who I actually like, and he said, "I wish I did what you did."
Very interesting that you've said twice today. Was it George W. Bush?
No.
Was it Bill Clinton?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say. Because
Barack Obama?
a member of a party, they have Trump arrangement syndrome, all, but that person said, "I wish I did it." I don't want to get him into trouble. Maybe, hey,
I have a guess.
you know what? Yeah, I think you probably know. I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it.
Given your past skepticism of foreign adventurism, are you completely on board with the current war in Iran?
Look, I think that I know what you're trying to do, Phil. You're trying to drive a wedge between members of the administration, between me and the president.
Given your skepticism of foreign adventurism, you were a critic of the global war on terror previously.
Well, I think one big difference, Phil, is that we have a smart president, whereas in the past we've had dumb presidents, and I trust President Trump to get the job done. I think that I know what you're trying to do, Phil. You're trying to drive a wedge between...
If Iran, as you say, totally obliterated, got the missiles, got the first 2 rounds of leadership, Air Force gone, Navy gone, can we wrap this war up this week?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Will we?
I don't think so, but it'll be soon. I had an obligation to do this. I didn't want to... You want to see a stock market go down? Start letting them hit you with nukes. Okay? I think it's a very small price to pay. And frankly, I thought it was going to go down much more. Only because people don't understand it's a big chess game at a very high level. And I'm dealing with very smart players. These are smart people. They don't get there. You're dealing with high level intellect, very high IQ people. I don't want wars. I want wars less than almost anybody. Peace through strength. But you know what? I've watched Iran for a long time. I've called them out 20 years ago when I was a civilian that liked watching the world. And if these gorgeous B-2 bombers, give me that bomber, Andrews. Let me just hug that little sucker. Give me that bomber over there. Thank you. You knew immediately which one. This looks small, but in person it's very big. It's the only plane capable of carrying a 200,000-pound bomb. So I don't know how they do it, because it's very sleek and nice, but it carries a lot of weapons and there's a lot of bombs. Had we not done this, you would have had a nuclear war that would have evolved into World War III. We've done a great thing. Isn't that a beautiful thing? There are some countries that greatly disappointed me. He said, we're going to send over 2 aircraft carriers. I don't want them after we win. I want them before we start. I don't need your aircraft carriers after we've already won. Those things are very disappointing.
Will it be necessary to use even a limited ground force to secure whatever nuclear material remains in Iran as part of that threat?
You mean to go in and get it?
Yes, sir.
Why would I tell you a thing like that? Sir, will you attack Karg Island? They ask me these questions. They're stupid questions. If any president answered those questions, they shouldn't be president. This looks small, but in person it's very big.